we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top, if you bought, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making, thank you, sing. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like medicine. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening.
Week 8 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, continues at York Lions Stadium. An exciting time for football fans right now, and that continues with another edition of Toronto versus Montreal. AFC Toronto hosting Montreal Roses. Hi everybody, welcome inside alongside the Hall of Famer, Amy Walsh. My name is Matt Cullen. Second time here, Amy, that we'll get a chance to look at AFC Toronto and the Montreal Roses. Always interesting when these two teams match up. This year, though, the script has been flipped with Montreal top of the table, but we'll be looking for a better performance after a loss before the international break.
It was their first one, and you remember the last time these two teams met, it was Bennett at the death with the winner as the away side. But this is a look at the Vancouver Rise, who were previously struggling and had lost 4-0 to the Roses. The Roses are struggling a little bit in their box. Ball watching at times. Abdu caused them fits on the day, so 3 players converge on the same player. On Abdu there, leaving the open player at the back post. Again, Abdu, ball to feet in the box. Beats her mark, ball cut back. And then that again is finished. So you saw some late markers. Hill here with some tired legs. So the onslaught continued as Perreault touches the ball inside. And DeFilippo, who had some opportunities, smashed the crossbar earlier on in the match, does not miss from around 12 yards out. So they will look to clean that up today and hopefully try to replicate their performance last time, but it was at BMO.
It's right at BMO Field, where Elise Bennett got a late winner for the Montreal Roses on that day. But today the Roses return to the site where their season ended last year. So maybe a little bit of revenge on the mind. Here's a look at the starting 11 today for Robert Rosatoyu, and it's Haley Whitaker, the only change, coming up to join that potent Montreal attack.
Yeah, and the graphic here I think is a little bit more offensive than they will be. Like, I see Whitaker and Sauvé as your traditional wing backs, and then the players who are going to look to find the pockets are Lisa Pachurski and Chirim. So how involved can the Roses get them in the match to try to be potent on attack?
Earlier, we had a chance to catch up with Megan Sauvé, who has started every match for the Montreal Roses. Megan, what have you been working on since the last match against Vancouver?
I think for us there was a lot of stuff we wanted to improve in, so we had a good break to get fresh, and then once we came back we wanted to work defensively on how we press, how we work as a block, as a unit, and then also with the ball being more calm and staying true to our identity.
What was the message from the coaching staff after the last game, which was a very tight one against Vancouver?
I think it was a tight game. I think the game didn't go our way that day, but we didn't show up the best we could. So I think it's just a learning curve that, yes, we started good this season, but we have a lot of work to do to stay on top, because a lot of teams are catching on and they're getting better when we play them. So I think it's just staying ourselves, but then getting better at everything.
Thanks for the time today and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Amy, let's turn to AFC Toronto. Mentioning the script flipping here. This is a team that were the Shield winners last year, but find themselves in unfamiliar territory here, more towards the bottom of the table rather than the top. But they do come in on a high after a big 4-0 win against Calgary before the break.
Unfamiliar territory indeed. So it's about how they respond, but that 3-game winless streak came to an end with an emphatic victory by 4 goals. And Kaylee Hunter, look at this one-touch ball by Nikki Small, the architect of this goal, but Hunter as well taking it first time as the goalkeeper charges out, and she gets on the board to begin her sophomore season of NSL. And she's struggled a little bit. We've seen her called into the senior national team, and she hasn't really made the impact that I think she hoped to get. She's playing with her own age group with the U20s, a World Cup on the horizon, and I think she'll just grow from here. But I think it's a weight lifted off of her shoulders to finally get off the mark in this second season.
Did score with the Canadian women's under-20 team in a 2-2 draw against Japan over the international break as well. Marko Milanovic making 3 changes to the side, mentioning that doesn't want to wear out players that played over the international break. And that means a club debut and an NSL debut for Jordan Brewster on the back line. Chloe Uttenberg and Sarah Stranagatkas also featuring in today.
And Sarah Rollins is the linchpin to all of this with the changes all around here. So the defensive solidity and the way that she relates with Manor look to that to provide the collective sort of defensive shield for this team, who must have that clean sheet mentality versus the Roses, who can also put goals in the back of the net.
Kaylee Hunter scored 16 last year, second in the goals in the NSL's first ever season. Has one now in 2026, and she joined us earlier on. Kaylee, your team went into the international break on a high with a big 4-0 win over Calgary. You scored in that game. How did that feel to net your first one of the year, especially going into the international window?
Yeah, honestly, I was just super happy with it. It was a very solid team performance. I think we put a lot of work in, and we showed that we are still a very, very top team, and we're playing up to our standards now, so we got to keep that up. And obviously, I was happy to score and got to keep that momentum up.
Well, speaking of scoring, you also were busy during the international window playing with the Canadian under-20 women's team, scoring a goal against Japan as well. Confidence-wise, coming back into the team, where do you sit now?
No, I'm super excited, super happy to be back with the girls. I think they had a good week of training. Well, us internationals were away, but we're all happy to be back together now and put on a performance today back at York Lions in front of our home fans. So we're excited.
Thanks for this, and best of luck today.
Thank you so much.
And speaking of the international window, here's a look at some of the players that featured. Certainly a busy one. Hunter, Chisholm, Nikki Small with Jamaica, and Tanya Boychuk mentioned how proud she was to feature for Ukraine.
2 players, though, in Boychuk and Small, who could have featured for our Canadian women's national team. So I think that player pool is much bigger than Casey Stoney thinks it is. But great to see Kaylee Hunter and also Annabelle Chukwu, who's obviously not here, who's still playing in college. But they are the future of the women's national team. But you take good performances away at your international team and those competitions, you bring it back and it springboards you into really good form for club.
Evelyn Badu and Linda playing for Ghana in some unofficial matches during the international window as well. And I mentioned unfamiliar territory. So did you, Amy.
Yeah.
That's because AFC Toronto, after Halifax's win earlier today, outside of the playoff picture. Yes, it's early. Yes, they played fewer games. But it's the top of the table Montreal Roses who enjoy a slim lead. But AFC Toronto will try and get back above that line here today.
I think AFC Toronto playing at York Lions Stadium, we know they're splitting their home games between BMO Field. They've been having hard luck there, like struggling for results. It's Pride Day today, York Lions Stadium, so I think the fans show up in droves and get them over that line and they start to climb up the table.
First match at York Lions Stadium this year for AFC Toronto, and as AB mentioned, it is a big one. Kickoff around the corner, Montreal and Toronto.
Hi, I'm Diana Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit NSL.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us some...
A warm June afternoon at York Lions Stadium as these two teams get set to kick off. A big 90 minutes ahead. First match between AFC Toronto and the Montreal Roses at York Lions Stadium after last year's snowy semifinal, which ended in an AFC Toronto victory 24 hours later due to that snowstorm. Elise Bennett and the Montreal Roses have been vicious in terms of attacking so far this year, but 3-2 losers to Vancouver just before the international break, and a couple of players mentioning in our pre-match interviews a chance to look inwards and say, let's get this turned back around. Underway, once again alongside Canadian Soccer Hall of Famer Amy Walsh. My name is Matt Cullen. One of two matches on the day today. Halifax winning against the Calgary Wild. Wild still looking for their first victory on the NSL season. Meanwhile, the Halifax Tides are right up there in terms of striking distance towards top of the table. And this one certainly has a big impact on the table. First place Montreal taking on now fifth place AFC Toronto. Rose is wearing the white kits with AFC Toronto wearing the dark red today.
I heard it's called Vermilion, Matt.
I like it. Much more precise. That's what I need you here for, Amy.
That's right.
Clearly a tough
Help
words
you out
day for me
anytime
already.
you need. No, you're doing great. We're a team here. We help each other out.
All right. Well, back to Anna Karpenko. Brilliant in the match against AFC Toronto at BMO Field, making 7 saves on that day in a 1-0 win.
Karpenko loves to play at BMO Field. Always brings her A game.
Had some nice results. Ball in the middle of the pitch, quickly turned back by AFC Toronto, and now the Roses back to work. Ball sent here to Sauvé. 33rd consecutive start for Sauvé when she's been available to feature. 33 starts, 33 matches, one of Montreal's most reliable options.
And she's leveled up this year. Matt, I've been so impressed with Megan Sauvé, not only her work rate, her leadership, but the quality she's offering this year and the way that she provokes the attack, her service. Everything is much more precise. And I think you saw a nagging injury to her thigh really play at the end of last season. And this year, she had surgery in the offseason. She's renewed completely this year and raring to go.
First foul of the day given by the head referee, Myriam Marcotte from Lévis, Quebec, 34 years old, 4th appearance of the season. Marcotte's been involved in major competition, the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand in 2023, as well as the W Gold Cup 2024. Big year, of course, in women's football with Olympic and World Cup qualifying later on this year. Good ball sent in, dangerous from AFC Toronto, and Karpenko comes out. Take that away from Lauren Rowe.
And you had Burns pushing over on the other side, but great vertical attack by AFC Toronto. We didn't see it there, but 2 passes, line-breaking passes, great little bit of play by Nikki Small to release Lauren Rowe, and that first touch lets her down. I think she's trying to get around Karpenko. Should have done better there, but really probing attack to kick things off here for AFC Toronto.
Rowe scoring first goal for AFC Toronto on a keeper miscue in the 12th minute. All part of a 4-0 AFC Toronto win. A confidence-building win is what Marko Milanovic said, although it did come at the wrong time because one of his least favorite times of the year as a club coach, he says, is the international break. Opportunity to run here for the first time, and Elise Bennett with 5 goals in 6 matches to lead all players this year in the Northern Super League.
And earned herself the Player of the Month for the month of May.
Correct.
Well deserved.
Coming off a big month. Quick to credit her teammates as well, but been clinical when she's had the opportunity to put the ball away, particularly up front.
And that's 2 occasions you can see the movement of Nikki Small dragging Stephanie Hill out of that Montreal backline. And if she's able to do that and they're able to connect and you have runs from deep from the likes of Sarah Strategakis, AFC Toronto are going to be able to find space in behind and threaten and test Karpenko. Hasn't happened yet, but you can feel it coming.
Montreal's backline organizing itself. Stephanie Hill All 7 starts this year. In the midfield, Montreal able to work that forward. Bilbao finding Bennett. The wide areas. Lisa Pechersky has been a very solid addition to the Roses this year with a goal and 4 assists, 5 goal contributions in 6 matches. Whitaker is out wide, looking to challenge Latain. Ball sent in and quickly away from AFC Toronto.
And what a ball that was by Charlotte Bilbao. The Montreal Roses can threaten down the right-hand side. You mentioned Lisa Pechersky, but that time it was Whitaker really pushing up. And you've got players like Minas who are filling in and providing the cover, but it was a beautiful ball out wide by Bilbao.
Ball off the boot and into touch here. Taken by Pechersky. Sauvé settles. Played down again. This near side will once again go into touch. All-time fixtures between these two rivals have gone Toronto's way. 5 total victories and 3 for Montreal. No draws, Amy, through the first 8. See if that comes into factor today. There's always been a winner between these two rivals.
I feel like that's how you build a really strong rivalry, make it fierce. Because there's never a share of points. It feels like the energy that we're building here in year 2 of NSL.
Marko Milanovic said managing minutes is certainly one of his priorities today. Nikki Small featuring a couple of times for Jamaica, including 1 start. Too many minutes for Marko Milanovic in his mind, but thought she played very well, playing now international football with the Reggae Girls for the first time.
Yeah, well, I've spoken about it before, and I touched on it a little bit in the pregame. I think that's a big loss for Canada. You're losing a player who has captained our U20 Canadian team. And Casey Stoney was asked about it and said she doesn't want to deny a player an opportunity to go to a major tournament, you know, be it a World Cup or an Olympics. We know the Women's World Cup is next year in 2027 in Brazil, the first time they'll host. So want to kind of cut a player loose if they're not going to get an opportunity at home. But I think Nikki Small, in the environment with the Canadian women's national team, I think she should have been given a chance, because I still think we haven't seen her at her best. She has a very, very high ceiling and has impressed so far in year 2 after an excellent inaugural year.
Look at Robert Rosatoyu. So far helped guide his team to the top of the table. Wouldn't really know it though after his pre-match press conference. And lots of work to be done. Didn't think they had their best, but no need to panic, but certainly a big fixture here today to try and get back on track. Just ahead of Sauvé into touch. There's a look at Jordan Brewster, Canton, Ohio native and former West Virginia Mountaineer, making her Northern Super League debut. Played in Sweden also for Bay FC, the NWSL. Opportunity to counter down here for AFC Toronto with a ball that goes off the side of the woodwork and out.
And we know that Lauren Rowe is a burner. Got pace for days. For my money, is the fastest player in the league, but her quality on the ball to start this match hasn't been where she wants it to be, and that ball has to be cut back. It has to be pulled away from Karpenko, and she has to give her team the opportunity to flood the box and get on the end of something.
The FC Toronto now bringing pressure forward. Bilbao engaged in the middle with Nikki Small. Does well to work away from pressure. Montreal looking to try and find a way through. Kang Chirim, ball into touch. Through the first 10 minutes, been a relatively cautious start to this one. Perhaps that can be expected after, yes, players have been busy, but clubs haven't featured in quite some time with the international break.
Well read there by Lantang. See how high Montreal wants their fullbacks to go. So I thought that the graphic was a little bit ambitious with both Sauvé and Whitaker above the line that included Pachursky and Chirim. But you can see the central areas, how cognizant Montreal is of the numbers in the middle of the park with Uddenberg, Small, and Stratigakis. So you can see Pachursky just lurking there, trying to find those pockets, be elusive between the lines, and drifting over and finding that central channel maybe more so than she would normally do.
And Valerie Seto, 7th consecutive start for the Montreal Roses this year. Kept in on a close play on the touchline. Chirim now make sure this does go out for a Montreal throw. Headed by Bennett towards the top of the penalty area. Finally swept away. 10 taken down will be an AFC Toronto free kick.
Yeah, that's Brewster who steps up there and does so decisively, wants to take the quick set piece there and is blocked from doing so, and they just reset, but will still play it short.
Brewster quickly back onto the ball. Small ducking out of the way of that high pass. Stephanie Hill and Lucy Capadona will certainly be keeping an eye on the dangerous AFC Toronto attackers. Kaylee Hunter with some pressure. Toronto 8 goals scored through 5 matches. Conceded 5 as well. Tang jumping up and ball into touch.
And doing enough to disrupt the Roses and fronting players, especially those front runners, looking for Bennett, trying to get that ball to feet, be that release valve at the top, and AFC doing enough to disrupt their buildup.
Chloe Mines quickly in to win the ball back. Karpenko will settle the pace. Capadona. Ball down this far side here. Rollins and Bennett. Looks to be an interesting matchup here today. Rollins making sure that one goes AFC Toronto's way.
And I was just complimenting Lantain's ability to read the game and to intercept, break up play, and there she was late to step and allowed Seto to try to find Bennett in behind, same channel ball, and we've seen Montreal have success with that against other opponents.
Rowe looking to do some attacking. Seto keeping a close eye. Lauren Rowe to the top of the penalty area. Good run, taken down, and Miriam Marcotte says free kick just outside the penalty area. Good chance here for AFC Toronto on a set piece.
I was just on the edge, Matt, of perhaps allowing play to continue. Was a 2-on-1 on the other side, but I think this is the right call. This is a good darting run inside by Lauren Rowe. Her head up, head on a swivel, looking to lay that off, drawing defenders to her. See the 2-on-1 there that was created with Burns and Small, but I'm sure AFC Toronto was happy to have a set piece from about 20 yards out, and Kaylee Hunter is going to be licking her lips for this one.
6 goals, 4 assists last year for Kaylee Hunter, the standout from Calgary, Alberta. Just 18 years old.
She's got this in her locker.
Wall is formed for Montreal. Taking a look, striking on, and that one just ticking off either the glove or the woodwork. Close call.
Elects to go around the wall, and this ball's dipping, and I think it's got Karpenko beat, but Hunter can't beat the woodwork. Just glances off the outside of the post, as you said, Matt, and it will be the Roses to restart at a goal kick.
Well, first big chance of the game. That was a supremely well-placed ball.
Really was. I'm surprised. I've seen her go up and over before, but she saw something. Maybe it was the placement of the wall. Alexa tried to bend it around, and the technique was spot on. but just couldn't bend it inside the post.
So first warning shots here through the first quarter of an hour. York Lions Stadium. AFC Toronto will be playing 6 home matches here and 7 that we're now calling Toronto Stadium at the moment.
That's correct. It's tripped me up a number of occasions already.
Final match between these two will be down by the Lakeshore. Opportunity to strike again, and this one goes off the glove and off the top of the bar from Nikki Small. Back-to-back chances for AFC Toronto.
And we talked about Karpenko bringing her A game and a high standard whenever she faces AFC Toronto, but so does Nikki Small. A little deft little maneuver to go around Stephanie Hill and hits it centrally and looks to beat Karpenko just under the bar, but she's up to the task and is able to just parry that up and over the bar.
First corner of the match, 16th minute. Some contact in the penalty area as Kaylee Hunter's gone down. And that warrants a discussion with the head referee.
And big body of Brewster just set up there. Raiden Karpenko's hula hoop, just looking to cause some trouble, not moving at all, but just enough to be a distraction.
Brewster at 5'10", right next to the keeper right now as this one struck in towards the near post. Not enough there and quickly sent away by Montreal.
And that's the in-swinger, I believe, by Zoe Burns, and it's under hit. And I've seen them execute corner kicks where they're looking for that flick on the near post, looking to draw out the keeper off of their line. But that ball just needs to be struck a little bit more strongly.
Warm day today in southern Ontario, 28 degrees Celsius. Winds between 20 and 30 kilometers per hour as well. Once again, sent in towards the penalty area. This one just a step too far. And once again, Karpenko taking over.
Barnett playing that left-sided center back role as part of that back three. We're used to seeing her more in that wing back position, which is where Lantang is being deployed today. And that early ball, look for that more from Barnett when AFC Toronto are able to have sustained possession in the attacking third.
AFC Toronto has had the only 2 chances so far in this one. Burns likes to go back to the keeper, Sophia Manor, for her second start of the season. Clean sheet against the Calgary Wild on May the 31st, the last match before the break. Didn't have to make a save in that 4-0 win.
I was going to say, was not very busy on the day.
Rotation in the keeper position for AFC Toronto, dealing with a couple of injuries there as well. Rowe looking to counter and open up some space. This one just sent too far for Small. Karpenko will take the long way here for the goal kick. Capadona, always one of the minutes leaders and touches leaders for the Roses. Quick pass now quickly sent back ahead. Lantang being watched closely by Whitaker. It's a good ball down this far side. Into space. Sarah Stratigatkis. No, has to go 1-on-2. Not successful there. One back in the middle of the pitch here with Minas.
Montreal, we know they have the quality, the technical ability to be able to beat a press, and they've done so successfully, but they haven't really been able to progress their way up the pitch. We've seen a couple of long balls over the top, but other than that, we haven't really seen them occupy a lot of time in the attacking third.
Pechersky does have some good pace. Rollins, though, took the angle, beat her to the ball. Let's go into touch here, though, for the Roses.
Good tackle. Sarah Rollins, U Sport champion with the UBC Thunderbirds. First year pro last year, and has grown so much in her ability to marshal that back line, to control it, how she's working with the goalkeeper behind her. And I think also the way that she pushes up and playing with the back three, bringing your wing backs tighter in, but also relating with the likes of Chisholm in front of you, or Uddenberg, who's playing that holding midfielder role, the role that Emma Regan played last year. I think that she's really come along leaps and bounds since last year.
So far, her and Elise Bennett have been shoulder to shoulder pretty well throughout. Rollins wins another battle there. Capadona takes over. 24-year-old center back plays over to Seto. She's played 90 minutes 3 times already this year. Didn't have any 90 minutes since last year playing with the Tides. Opportunity to grow into a bigger role. Seto will roll this back, and Karpenko comes out. So far, Montreal showing that they're in no hurry here, playing away today. It's a patient start. But so far, I've not really been able to unlock this dangerous attack that they have, Amy.
No, or even move so far beyond the middle third. And that's credit to AFC Toronto, how knitted together they've stayed between their team parts. And they've been resolute, and they've been well organized. And first to a lot of these loose balls, these knockdowns, they've been won, well, save for this one, won by Lisa Pechersky by AFC Toronto.
Here might be the opportunity for the Roses. Small and Pechersky battle on this near side into the penalty area now, struck towards the goal, and Rollins cuts that off. Corner on the way for the first time here this afternoon for the visitors.
And we mentioned how disruptive Lisa Pechersky can be. Now she's active from minute 1 through minute 90 in stoppage time, and a really critical intervention there by Sarah Rollins, who stands tall but concedes a corner.
Minas will make her way to the flag. Already has an assist on the season in the opening win against Calgary. Try and orchestrate something with a set piece here. Ball sent up, pushed away by Manor. Not completely clear though, spun back towards the goal by Bilbao. Now Rowe takes that, boots it away to safety. Hunter unable to run onto the ball, and Montreal will quickly play from the touch. Whitaker goes back to that far side. All off balance, now taken by Pechersky. Right boot, trying to settle across in for Bennett, and this one goes off of Rollins for another corner kick, back to back.
And that early ball was on. You could see as soon as that ball was squared across to Pechersky, she was seeking out Elise Bennett, who had set up camp kind of on that right-hand side of that 6-yard box. So probing a little bit, not really successfully connecting and finding solutions to unlock a stubborn defense for AFC Toronto, but seemed to be growing into the game, at least in the way of attacking fluidity for the Roses.
This time from the other corner flag. Near post, pushed on towards goal, and that one blocked away nicely, but still in the danger zone. And a header from Capadona, eventually snared by Sophia Manor.
And the Roses connecting there on 2 potential opportunities. Neither had a particular amount of venom behind them, but Hill, first of all, we know that she's dangerous on set pieces. She connects firstly with that right foot, and then it's Capadona who tests Manor on a little bit of a recycling and gets the ball again.
Barnett plays this back. Rollins facing some pressure from Cherim. Lauren Rowe lets this bounce a couple of times, and AFC Toronto will try and attack in transition towards the penalty area. Rowe plays a ball across. Not done yet. Burns back into Small. Small tries to use the outside of her boot, does get it into the penalty area. Take it back, Stratigatkis plays this forward. The flag, though, does come up, as that was close on that pass in towards the 6-yard box.
Finding some space, just a couple of yards, but a number of players, including Small, including Stratigakis, had a little bit of a window there to have a pop, and instead they decide to, or they elect to go for something a little bit more intricate, and they're not able to get a shot off. One back, though. Opportunity for Kaylee Hunter. Little stutter step. Now holds the ball up. Small plays across, and Berg, one of the first opportunities here, plays this out into the wide area, though Montreal defends that well. Berg back on the ball, this time direct into the penalty area, but into the arms of Karpenko. You're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, official bank of the NSL. Hard to believe we are creeping towards double-digit weeks here in the Northern Super League. Week 8 will conclude tomorrow with Vancouver, who are on the rise. That's been dropped a few times already. Can't take credit for that one. That's
Slow
okay.
start, but they are moving up, taking on the dangerous Ottawa Rapid, who were the most dangerous attack so far. Lead the league with 15 goals scored. All sent out.
That type of attack is where Montreal are their most dangerous, where you see sometimes when they're defending it looks like a double pivot where you've got Bidbo and Minas collapsing next to her, and then when they're attacking a little bit more fluidity, you see some more rotation, and it's Bidbo connect with the feet of Minas on a line-breaking pass, and then you get numbers forward, creating overloads, and then that you see the variety in the attack. We haven't quite seen that yet. It's been a little bit more pedestrian, a little bit more predictable.
Sauvé with Bennett, taken back by Burns, and sent forward from AFC Toronto. Hill on the ball quickly, Paczurski looks to go to the outside of the boot, might have a second chance here. Watch closely again by Small. He runs away from the AFC midfielder, Seto and Whitaker. Looking at a good ball forward, just outside of the penalty area. This one struck on, but off target. As Montreal, over the last 10 or so minutes, Amy, have started to show signs of that dangerous attack waking up.
They're just missing connecting on that final decision, the final ball or the final shot. And there, I think Whitaker didn't quite see, just off to her left, a squared ball to a wide open Lisa Paczurski standing in the D. But Montreal starting to show some of the creativity they're known for on the attack.
Approaching the half-hour mark at York Lions Stadium. The second of 5 fixtures between these two Eastern rivals. Once in July, once in August, and then once in September. Of course, these two teams semi-finalists last year, with AFC Toronto winning convincingly over 2 legs. Dealing with some injuries, though, to start the season. But would love to put back-to-back wins together. Burns and Small trying combining down this near side, although it does roll once again out for a goal kick.
You mentioned the fact that these teams in Northern Super League, with there just being 6 clubs, they face each other 5 times. So sometimes you relish being able to face a team again in quick succession. You can make up for things you didn't do the first time or exact your revenge in some way. But I think so far through about half an hour, we're seeing a little bit of the caginess that can sometimes set in, where you've sussed the team out, but now maybe the team's adapted to some of your tactics, and it's kind of killed a little bit of the dynamism in the game occasionally. And we've seen both of these teams look dangerous on the break, but we haven't quite seen that today. A little bit from AFC, but less from the Roses.
Mentioned the hot temperatures today, so we do have a hydration break brought to you by Powerade. Coming a little bit later than the midway mark here of the first half, so should give the two teams a bit of a bump here over the final 15 minutes before halftime. Well, Nikki Small's got herself some fans here. That was certainly a big topic of conversation. Casey Stoney electing to go with the midfielders that he currently has in place ahead of the big World Cup and Olympic qualifiers later on this year.
Yep.
And Nikki Small's grandmother was elated from Jamaica. So Nikki now wearing the shirt for the Reggae Girls.
I think if Nikki Small is happy about it, then that is the right decision. I think you just want to see a player like Small, who's still in her early 20s, just express herself fully, whether it's at club, in NSL, or on the international stage. So if it's with the Reggae Girls, then we wish her well.
23 years old. As we get this restart underway. Big hats off, a chapeau to the drummers here.
That's right.
Who have also not stopped for the first 32 minutes here. Incredible pace.
No, they're setting the tempo.
AFC Toronto have had the better of the opportunities, including hitting the woodwork once from a set piece if you joined us late. Rowe. Takes a look around, bothered by King Chirim. Small there, wins the ball back for the home side and has won a corner kick. Another opportunity to create off a set piece along the way. Going short this time. Barnett to the top of the penalty area, and Uttenberg runs into trouble. And this could be a real problem for AFC Toronto. Off to the races with Peczerski. AFC Toronto trying to get players back. Help out on defense. Peczerski bothered. Referee plays the advantage. Back, whip towards goal into the arms of Sophia Manor. I think some of the Montreal Roses were hoping for a free kick instead.
We saw a similar play, the one where Hunter did in fact hit the woodwork. Referee could have allowed play to continue, and there I think Peczerski was hoping that the referee gave the set piece. You're about 25 yards out. You would have been a little bit further out than Hunter's free kick. But I think he would have taken that because he ended up giving the ball away in the next phase of play.
Intercepted quickly by the Roses. Seto plays back. Hill, and here's Megan Sauvé.
You're seeing that the pitch balance here, that's by design for Robert Rossitoyu and the Roses, where Megan Sauvé, who is just in our screen as your left wing back, and it's a hard foul by Brewster on Chirim. But her counterpart on the right side of the field, on the right wing in Haley Whitaker, was not in the picture at all, so playing a much higher, more aggressive style on that right-hand side versus Sauvé, who's playing much more conservative.
Brewster standing at 5'10", big presence for AFC Toronto.
I think that's an underestimation. She looks much taller than 5'10".
Okay. Do some investigating on that one. defended well here by AFC Toronto. 10 or so minutes before stoppage time. Montreal with 4 shots, 1 on target. And AFC Toronto, 2 attempts, 1 official shot on goal. 5-second warning given to Stephanie Hill, who has to get the ball back in play. 66% in terms of the possession so far for the Montreal Roses. Amy, does that surprise you?
Not really. I mean, this is their identity. Part of it and the way that they want to play is to keep the ball, to dictate in the way of possession. But I think they've been a little bit passive and more cautious in keeping the ball.
Inside the penalty area, the dangerous Kaylee Hunter stops, turns, goes back down towards, puts a cross in. And that's just ahead. A couple of AFC Toronto players, including Sarah Stratigatkis. Santos' ball countered quickly by Barnett, just heads it away.
We mentioned Bennett earlier in the game, Matt, as being the NSL's Player of the Month for the month of May, and she's transformed the attack for the Roses by providing that focal point. And the game has slowed down and they've become less dangerous because she's been less involved. I think their way back in is, yes, Lisa Petrusky on the flanks, but it's finding the feet of Elise Bennett.
Petrusky and Barnett once again meet. Push back to Hill. 5 goals in her Northern Super League career. It's been a threat, particularly, as you mentioned, from the set pieces. I do have her at 6 feet, so we'll have to measure that with Brewster.
That's right. A little back-to-back at York Lions Stadium, yes. We just need a set piece when they're marking one another, then we could really tell.
I think that there's a good chance.
Yeah.
There's a great chance. Who do you think has the edge?
Might give it to Bennett.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sent away off the 4th official here. Does well to spin that forward. Does it stay in? No.
It's almost a breakdancing move.
Very creative.
Very
full marks
adept.
there.
Yes.
A little spin and shuffle forward. Tries to go forward. Now Nikki Small. Watched closely by 2 Montreal Roses. The possession here for the home side.
You saw Montreal initially try that high press, then they were able, Nikki Small was able to escape it, conserve possession, sat back a little bit, then the trigger went again with the back pass, and Turim went hard.
Space opens up. Nikki Small charges forwards into the penalty area, taken by Hunter. Stops, waits, plays back, sent away by Sauvé. Some good defense there.
And that ball just a little bit heavy. You'd want that finding the feet of Hunter, who could test Karpenko at the near post. We've seen her do that before, or cut that ball back. Instead, just to keep the ball in play, she's got to stop it on that byline, but she's still able to win the corner.
3rd corner kick of the half, in the 4th minute. Ball struck on. No AFC Toronto player in the vicinity there. Small. Engaged in a duel there, and one of the Montreal defenders has gone down. That's Bilbao, the midfielder, I should say. No hard feelings. Good to see.
It's a heavy challenge, but a clean challenge, as that ball is just passed forward a little bit too heavily by Small and goes in really hard with Bidbo, who ends up getting upended and falls awkwardly to the pitch, maybe partially on her face.
It did look like a hard landing. Capadona and Hill organizing Montreal as the sun peeks back out from behind the clouds again. Minas lifts this ball to Sauvé, but timing just not quite right there.
But Small passes by the Roses to keep the ball over on that right-hand side. They draw Lantain out, so there's either that same channel ball that we've seen trying to connect with Bennett, or that switch is on over to Sauvé, but it just lacked the quality to connect with her.
Sauvé plays forward. Pechersky runs on. Okay, Chirim into the penalty area. Chirim takes a look. Pechersky, some good movement. Dangerous into the penalty area. Blocked down quickly. An attempt at goal from Bilbao went for power. Deflected away by AFC Toronto. Bilbao will try and work things to the far side. That one quickly countered back.
And really disciplined team shape by AFC Toronto. See there, Bidbo receives that ball to feet, finding space between the lines. It's either she or Minas. But in central channels, AFC Toronto is really knitted together tightly between their team parts. They're able to mitigate that central penetration.
Late in this first half. Quite developing there for the Roses, and mention the discipline here from AFC Toronto. And Marko Milanovic happy to have his full side back together as well. Said it is good to take a look at what some of the other players, the younger players, can provide when spaces open up in training, but it's hard really to get things done and put strategy into place when so many players are away.
Always throws things off rhythm a little bit when you're missing faces, either to injury or international duty. You almost have to re-find your footing at the end of an international window.
First turn, Bennett meets. One back by the AFC Toronto debutantes. Rowe tries to play forward. That one countered. Pechersky takes a look. Whitaker feels a bit of pressure from Stratigatkis and will play backwards. Now Bilbao.
A great bit of play by Brewster, settling in very nicely to Rollins' right. Breaks up the play, is able to drive forward and find the feet of the midfielder to try to progress the ball.
That ball from Bennett goes off of the head referee, so we'll have a restart here in the 44th minute. Sauvé. Minas, nowhere to go there. And might be an opportunity to attack for AFC Toronto. First attempt countered. Stratigatkis will play back. Now opening up some space here for Zoe Boyd. Or Burns, I should say. Let's have a goal and an assist already on the young season.
I think Burns there with that early ball was looking to connect with Kaylee Hunter, who had the inside position on Seto. Just wasn't able to execute.
Bennett trying to push this ball ahead, and this one just out of reach. Brewster. Ball to Small and taken down, given as a free kick.
Such a great feeling when you've got a teammate like Nikki Small. You know that she can be that release valve. She can get you out of trouble as long as your ball is precise enough to find her feet, or if she's posted up against a defender, has a defender on the half turn, give it to her right foot or her left foot, and she can keep possession or draw the foul. It's so nice to have confidence in the fact that you can rely on a teammate in that way.
2 minutes of stoppage time shown by the fourth official. Burns is at it again. Ball is in the penalty area. Defended quickly by the Roses. Bennett taken down by Uttenberg. That's given as a free kick. Looks to be a sore one here, Amy.
Yeah, it was a clumsy foul, a little bit late as well by Uttenberg. So a bit of an errant touch there by Bennett, exposes the ball a little bit, and then Uttenberg comes through and does not make contact with the ball at all. Bennett gets in there first, and Uttenberg swipes at it and completely connects just with the foot of Bennett, so that's got to be sore. And lucky to escape without being cautioned for that.
Bennett feeling the effects and a bit of a side eye there, maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Didn't like it.
I wouldn't like it either. I don't blame her. You take the number and you move on.
Countered by AFC Toronto, looking for something here in stoppage time. Bennett bounces this one. This one also given as a free kick.
Pechersky just clipped by Barnett. And the decision to play Barnett as part of that back three, they were missing her quality on service. We've seen a lot of opportunities with AFC Toronto where they're getting in those wide areas, but they're lacking the precision in their crossing to really threaten. But it's Montreal's turn to threaten here as they get the set piece.
Might be the last action here this first half. Minas this time, ball into the top of the penalty area, there for the taking, and it ricochets off of Hill. Was once again up on the set piece. Taken away, and Miriam Marcotte says that's the end of half number one. Couple of chances both ways here, but so far 0-0 after 45 minutes.
I think both teams played each other to a little bit of a stalemate, just kind of feeling each other out. Second meeting of the two, maybe a little bit of caution on both sides, but the most dangerous we saw both teams was in transition, especially AFC Toronto.
Coming up, it is halftime from York Lions Stadium. We'll have Amy with her first half analysis, and we'll also take a closer look at the NSL Player of the Month in the month of May, Elise Bennett, the NSL's goal leader. 0-0, AFC Toronto and Montreal at halftime.
Oh, like real glasses, like prescription?
No prescription, that's good.
Are they real? No.
Okay, woo! We're like, are we bringing
Gotcha.
We're gonna get you in a business mode because you're gonna elevator pitch why someone should be a fan of your team.
Here we go.
Oh. 60 seconds. All right, this is gonna be good.
Hey you, are you looking for a new hobby? Well boy do I have the best one for you.
We'll start off nice and easy. McMahon Stadium, Olympic Stadium. Can't get any more rowdy than that.
Family. Who doesn't love a family feel?
I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. I'm not gonna take up 18 minutes of this video to tell you should come support Toronto, because you should already know that you should support Toronto.
And you know where you can get that? The Halifax Tides.
Our players, incredibly talented, incredibly inspiring to watch.
Do you like sports? How about women's sports? If you don't, it means you just haven't even watched them yet.
The people on the team are amazing. Olivia Scott, number 18, is super cool. She's a great center back. Watch out for her.
Why not come out in July? Stampede, biggest rodeo in all of North America. We got cowboys, cowgirls, country singers, rappers, music artists. Best thing yet, Wild also plays during the 2-week Stampede is on, so you can go to Stampede all day, come party with the Wild all night.
If I was you, I would definitely pick an NSL team that is nearest to you, or just pick the Vancouver Rise.
Representing the Maritimes, representing the East Coast.
We wear really cool colors and have a lot of fun stuff going on at the game, a lot of giveaways.
Come out, go tailgate with the Storty family in the parking lot before the game, and make sure you come say hi to me after.
Why wouldn't you want Toronto? We have Drake, Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, ketchup chips.
Watch the Tides make a statement because the tides are turning.
I love that. You knew what you were doing with that one. Yeah.
I like to keep everyone on their toes.
I don't know. Skip, can we go back to it?
One word for 2026.
Growth.
Exciting. Legendary.
Baller.
2 words for 2026, round 2. The vibe in our locker room is...
Young.
Killer.
The vibe is good. Yeah, the vibe is really fun.
Immaculate. The vibes in our locker room is just fun.
Most underrated teammate.
Ooh, underrated teammate. I just met them.
I think JC's an incredible player in our back line. I think she's going to be really exciting this year.
Annika Todd. I think she's a great goalkeeper and everybody should get to know her more.
Honestly, Charlotte Bidbo, but is she underrated? I don't know. She's properly rated. Probably the twins. They could be together.
Flo. You just like her personality, you would never know until you get to know her, and then she's like quite literally one of the funniest people you'll ever meet.
So you gotta pick one of your teammates who's taking the last shot.
I choose Quinny with my eyes closed.
Annie for one last shot. She's solid.
Maggie.
Phoebe Pridham.
Tanya Bochuk.
Olivia Scott.
The league better watch out for blank.
Ottawa Rapid.
Montreal Roses 2026.
Us. For Vancouver, like, obviously.
The league better watch out for the Tides.
Halifax Tides, new team this year.
Calgary Wild.
The league better watch out for Vancouver because we're ready to rise.
We're gonna end off on
like
I
that
love
one?
that. You knew what you were doing with that one. Yeah.
The NSL is blank.
Inspiring.
An amazing group of incredible women.
Is a great place to showcase Canadian young talents.
La Ligue est inspirante.
The NSL is a dream come true.
The NSL is powerful.
The NSL is now.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Northern Super League presented by BMO. 0-0 between AFC Toronto and the Montreal Roses. Amy at halftime. Chances both ways, yes, but you think that AFC Toronto has been the more dangerous team here this afternoon?
Yeah, I think on both sides they're trying to suss each other out, but I think the player or the team that was playing protagonist was definitely AFC Toronto. I mean, chances were few and far between, but the occasion that they got, we know Kaylee Hunter has this in her locker. She steps up. We've seen her go up and over that wall, but this time she elects to go around. And then Sarah Stratigakis driving at defenses. A little bit of nifty footwork by Nikki Small to go around Steph Hill, test Karpenko. So Karpenko has had long spells where she's been idle, and she's had other occasions where she's had to be at the ready, and she's come up big to keep a clean sheet for her team.
So Montreal having some opportunity as well. They lead in shots. They lead in shots on target. But the play of Sarah Rollins at the back end has kept those opportunities to relatively low to medium chances here.
And she's got new players to her left and to her right. So she's got newcomer Brewster to her right. She's got Barnett, who typically plays the wingback position, to her left. But we talked about the linchpin and the leader at the back. That is Sarah Rollins. Despite her young age, she is an experienced player, and she's always played like an experienced player, so she understands her positioning. She can win duels. She knows how to go stare down the barrel of Elisa Paczerski, who's so dynamic, so dangerous, and so pacey. She keeps those attackers controlled in front of her, and that's part of the reason why the Roses themselves have been able to keep, AFC has been able to keep the Roses at bay.
Despite the 63% possession, 6 shots, 2 on target as well, AFC Toronto has had more corner kicks in this match here as well, and we saw the 2 chances here. So really an interesting dynamic of this game.
Well, I think if you broke down that possession, or you saw a heat map of this game, the bulk of the possession that the Roses have is tame. It's like the AFC is not worried about it because the majority of it is in that middle third, and they're able to sit in their shape and keep them peripheral. So they're going to continue to do it. They don't care what the stats look like if they're the more dangerous team in the way of corners and shots on target.
And take a look who is in the crowd here today. All right. Diana B. Matheson. That's the trophy that everyone's going for this year under the watching eyes here today.
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise. BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? No, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO.
Everyone watches women's sports because why wouldn't you?
Because it brings us together. It's competitive and exciting and new and fresh.
The women who play are so competitive, so tough, fierce, and just leave their emotions all out on the field.
Everybody watches women in sport because we're the best.
Everyone watches women's sports because greatness has no gender.
Because we're a bunch of badass athletes and we love to compete and we're just fun to be around.
Because it's fun and exciting.
Tout le monde regarde le sport féminin parce que les femmes ont eu besoin de briser beaucoup de barrières pour arriver où elles sont aujourd'hui. Donc ça vaut la peine qu'on les regarde et qu'on les encourage.
Everyone watches women's sports because they have good taste. And they should.
Because this is just the beginning.
And at the end of the day, I am proud to kick like a girl, play like a girl, and score like a girl.
First game. First whistle. First goal. First jersey. First autograph. First favorite player. First away game. First big win. First time thinking, that's gonna be me.
Welcome back to the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. Hot Saturday afternoon at York Lions Stadium, and she's taken the league by storm. Elise Bennett, 5 goals so far in 6 appearances, and named the DoorDash Player of the Month. Elise, your first full month in the NSL, and you're not only the leading scorer, but you've helped the Roses to top of the table, and now you pick up Player of the Month. Congratulations. What do you attribute your early success to here?
Yeah, I think it's all a team effort. I think that the individual success is great, and I appreciate any acknowledgement, but I think without my teammates, I wouldn't be in this position. So I thanked them yesterday when I found out. And yeah, I'm just super grateful to be here. I think that this club has supported me and put me in a good position to just play with confidence and be myself. So I'm happy with where we're at, but I know that we have so much more to come, so I'm excited for what's next.
And speaking of what's next, what's allowed you to develop your game so nicely here in the Northern Super League?
Yeah, I think that it's just the experience that I brought in the past couple of years of me playing overseas for a little bit and then me playing in the NWSL. I think that I came over here just itching to be in an environment where I felt fully supported and had a coaching staff that backed me, and I feel like I came here and that has been the case. So I think that I'm just playing as me. I'm not thinking too much. I'm just doing what I can and trying to put myself in the best position to help my team succeed.
Best of luck, and thanks for this, Elise.
Thank you so much.
Most dangerous attacker so far in the Northern Super League, and Amy stops in Spain and then a couple of different stints in the NWSL. She's really fit the part here so far with the Roses.
She has. I mentioned her being a clear focal point in their attack. She's a classic center forward, and athleticism is a big part of her game, but she's so much more than just pace and physicality. You can see her understanding the way that she goes into space. She can threaten behind. She can play that hold-up role. She just fit in brilliantly with the Roses.
Let's now take things to the air. The WestJet Where It Takes You feature. It's all about how AFC Toronto celebrates Pride Month.
1, 2, 3, happy Pride?
Happy Pride.
No,
Okay.
no, at the same time.
Okay.
This
second we like entered this month.
No,
like everyone
June
was just
1st.
like happy Pride.
No, June
You're like-
1st. We walked down, everyone was like, happy your month.
Like there was a little bit more pep in the
Absolutely.
month.
Colby sang to us.
100%.
Pride is such a celebration of everyone. I'm just so happy that the city is here to support. It's always important to have a place where people feel accepted and, you know, feel that they belong.
Especially the teams that I played on in the past, like not all of them had a Pride game. So
Really?
yeah, and a lot of the girls I remember like seeing other leagues doing it, wanted that. So to be part of it and to see it happen and yeah, just feel like so supported and feel like there's a space for us. It is great. Playing away from home, it was definitely where I faced the most adversity. Whether at the time it felt not great and I was away from home and it was just feeling isolated at times, it was also a time to put yourself out of your comfort zone and ultimately come out of it growing even more and learning even more about myself.
When you're away from home, it really forces you to, you know, grow up and really look at your life and what you like about it and create it into something that you might not have thought about before.
When I was overseas, it was kind of just realization of I'm not going to get the validation from anyone else that I'm looking for. Like I really do only have me, and if I don't believe in myself, then I kind of have nothing at that point.
When you come to those matches, I think that's the time to be the most yourself, be happy, lively, colorful, and I hope we see you out there.
I think it's just another Pride event to come to, honestly. So come be as you are, and we'll all be there together.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride indeed. It is the official Pride match for AFC Toronto. The only thing missing, maybe a couple of goals. We'll see what the second half brings right after this.
Hi, I'm Diana Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit NSL.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your...
Two at York Lions Stadium, just north of downtown Toronto. One change to let you know about, and that is the Ukrainian international Tanya Boychuk coming in. Started both of Ukraine's matches in Women's UEFA World Cup qualifying, a 3-0 loss to England and a 1-0 loss to Iceland. So Boychuk, with some heavy minutes over the international break, will try and make a difference here in half number 2.
Yeah, clearly on managed minutes, and we've got some other players in AFC Toronto as well on the bench. The likes of Chisholm, who would typically start in the heart of that midfield, who is rested as well after being deployed and playing for the U20 Canadian women's national team. So a lot of teams having to make adjustments here out of the international break. It does allow you to give your team a little bit of a respite, some days off, but for other players, the grind just doesn't stop. And it's good. It gives you a chance to test yourself in different environments, but the toll on the body in terms of, you know, the physicality that's expected out of you and what it takes out of your legs is very real.
First touches for Boychuk, who has been dangerous this year with 4 goals, including 2 braces this year. Has 2 of the 8 braces so far through the first 7.5 weeks of the season. So between Bennett and Tanya Boychuk, there's some goal-scoring threat there.
Yep, scoring goals in bunches, and we saw the trademark celebration again this year. The round-off back tuck.
Always up for a good celebration.
whole league is, let's be honest.
Yes.
Which is terrific.
Doing a little number crunching prior to this one. We know with Bennett leading the Golden Boot race, Stevie Pridham leading in goal contributions, 3 goals, 3 assists, 60 goals scored across the first 7 weeks of the season.
Love to see it.
Goal scoring up in a big way. Montreal does have to be careful here with Kaylee Hunter running on, but it's played back safely and neatly.
So what you're saying is a scoreless draw through 45 is a bit of an anomaly.
I would say so, yes.
It's the outlier.
Generally, we get a little more action as the players start to fatigue in the second half. So I'm expecting, with the talent that these two teams have, we'll get a moment or two, maybe more. Maybe a chaotic finish. It's been known to happen.
I think both sides have lacked ideas in the final third, so hopefully the second half we see them express themselves a little bit more fully. They certainly have the player profiles, the combination, the partnerships on the pitch to be able to execute that. We just haven't quite seen it so far through the first half at least, so hopefully the second half gives us something a little bit different.
One back by Boychuk. There's some company around her. To play backwards, and Seto over to Capadona, and Hill goes back to the keeper. 2 key moments for Anna Karpenko, including one very nice fingertip save that was also aided by the crossbar. Manor comes out there and plays a nice header forward. Ottenberg gives this ball away in the midfield. Here's Peczerski. Lisa Peczerski plays out wide, now into the penalty area, and quickly cut off again by AFC Toronto. They're away again into the midfield. Crack from distance here. This one into the arms of Manor again. Charlotte Bilbao had 3 attempts, 1 on target in the first half.
And the type of system, the type of philosophy here that's expressed by these AFC Toronto players under Marko Milanovic, the goalkeeper, whether it's Kodiard, Grzaniak, Manor, they need to play high behind a higher line in that back 5 or that back 3, depending how you look at it. And Bilbao there just saw an opportunity. Manor previously was very high, tried to catch her off her line.
Boychuk doing well with Barnett right behind her. Here's Elise Bennett. Rollins not far off, and once again a strong defensive play from the AFC Toronto center back. Played in the middle, quickly dealt with. Out of the reach though of Kaylee Hunter. Lost her footing momentarily. Montreal with 62.5% in terms of the possession in the first half, and that's now trending up here the first 5 or so minutes of half number 2. Ball is in. No issues there for Manor.
So far, Boychuk, that substitution to start the second half, being influential, connecting with Barnett, dropping off that front line, finding her into space as she can run onto, and then creating overloads wide on the left.
A couple of good balls forward there to break some lines, and Boychuk's last ball there just split. Bennett being the closest. Barnett will take a look. Montaigne, AFC Toronto's touches leader at halftime. Ottenberg back to Rollins. Montaigne has to come back. Now faces a bit more pressure here. Whitaker Rolls this ball back, Seto. Into the middle for the veteran Bilbao. Montreal back in possession. And Valerie Seto. Whitaker. Montaigne watches on. Ball again played forward, and it's Rollins and it's Bennett. Rollins safely away.
Lots of movement off the ball. That's encouraging by the Roses, but sometimes the wrong ball being played. Like, I think that ball was on to release Minas into space and to continue to push and to stretch the defense for AFC Toronto. Instead, it's a wayward ball that doesn't connect with Bennett.
This is an opportunity here for Rowe, who looks to be home and clear, but just mishits it. Not cleared by Carpengo. Another chance. Oh, what a block there. Stephanie Hill with a game-saving or a goal-saving clearance. Perhaps a game-saving clearance, as that situation unfolded very quickly. Jersky now will move down this far side. Everything looked to be cool and controlled here from the Roses, and then all of a sudden Lauren Rowe was just away. This one takes a deflection, and Manor will hold it there.
And if you're AFC, that's the player that you want let loose in behind. And she's let loose. The Roses have tons of bodies forward. You see Capadonna, that ball's ahead of her and is chested forward by Rowe. That touch into space, and she looks to have Carpengo initially, who hesitated, and it falls to the feet of Hunter. And it's Hill to the rescue as she heads that up and away. Never gets close to the goal. That's gaping at that point.
Big time awareness there. Carpengo did have to hurry and rush the clearance, but it was right onto the boot of the AFC Toronto player.
In my estimation, Carpengo is the best in the league at that. She's so aggressive off her line, and she will make mistakes. We saw her do it last year, but Robert Rasitoyu asked her to do that. It's a very high-risk game, but she manages it so well. You see her there play a little bit of a risky pass back to Capadonna, but the way that she's able to charge off her line and the timing of it, she executes it almost to perfection. Reminds me of another goalkeeper that we've been seeing in action, in Maxime Crépeau, with a similar ability to read the game and to just pick his spots.
Perhaps a big reason why he was handed the gloves by Jesse Marsh for big match yesterday in Canada's FIFA World Cup debut. Lots of buzz, of course, around Toronto. And of course, everyone's favorite part, lots of traffic issues.
That's right.
Lots of closures. Passed by Bosnia and Herzegovina as they had the motorcade. Shut down one of the major arteries, Toronto, I suppose, off to their next match. All part of it. Right now, AFC Toronto. Kaylee Hunter plays this out wide, crosses up and in. Laten heads it back towards goal, but just misses the target with the header.
That's where AFC is successful, is they're able to get bodies forward. Kaylee Hunter gets that ball to feet in the box, passes it back to Nikki Small, then it's an overlapping Zoe Burns who runs into the space they just vacated, causes fits for the Roses, but the ball is lofted a little bit too much, and Lantain needs to do better with that ball in her head. It has to come back across the face of goal to where the numbers are at that back post.
Well, yellow card has come out. I was going to say things starting to get physical here between Rollins and Bennett. Been at each other for the whole match here so far, and Sarah Rollins has been cautioned here for this.
You get tangled up. I think Rollins maybe sensed that Bennett had a bit of a step on her.
First yellow card of the season for Sarah Rollins.
Listen, as a defender, you're happy to do that. I mean, yes, you get booked for it, so she might regret that later on in the match, but happy to do it around the halfway stripe versus doing it closer to her own 18.
Well, now that might change things here for Elise Bennett. Now might be licking her chops here, knowing that
could be
her big rival here on AFC Toronto's back line. Has to be careful. Whitaker went down awkwardly there. That's tough to see.
It is, but I'm very, very happy to see her back up. It looks like maybe just, caught an errant stud, and she's able to shake it off and walk it off. But those non-contact injuries, you never like to see them. I was holding my breath in the booth here.
Testing it out with a couple of side steps there. Good to see, still moving well. Elise Bennett and Rollins. Pressure comes from the Montreal attacker. Dealt with well by AFC Toronto. Play it ahead. Seto, strong header forward. Minas is chopped down. Play continues, goes back down the other way, and there's this ball up and over the top. This one too far. Boychuk takes and turns to avoid one tackle, not the second from Latane. And back in again, Stratigakis, unable to push forward.
Both teams really struggling to progress the ball with any success, to involve their front runners and to get bodies forward and really attack with some menace. We've seen individuals do it, and we've seen, a couple of shots from distance, one from Nikki Small, the set piece from Kaylee Hunter, but in the run of play, really big chances haven't really happened, and there's been a lack of quality and execution in the final third for both sides.
A little over a half hour to go here from York Lions Stadium. Take a look at the right of the screen here. In fact, it was not Rollins, it was Brewster with that little back kick there, sending the ball away, and that is what caught Miriam Marcotte's attention. Great job from our production crew there, so take one away from Rollins.
Yeah, we definitely missed that, and it seemed like a little bit of a soft foul. It was clumsy at best to warrant a booking. But kicking the ball away, delay of game will always get you booked.
So Brewster in her NSL debut is
intervention by Bidbo there to stop the quick throw.
And
Milanovic saying, why doesn't that warrant a caution?
We're gonna have a couple of changes here for AFC Toronto as well.
And looks like Badu and Thibault for the Roses getting set to enter the game.
60th minute, charging forward, Hunter into the penalty area. Strikes right on goal. Through a crunching tackle as well from Capadona.
That's more like it from Kaylee Hunter. Impetus, just putting it on her own shoulders to try to make something happen. Going very direct, trying to get a shot off, trying to get something going for her team.
Back on the ball, AFC Toronto. Small pushes forward into the penalty area, strikes and a deflection.
Looking for a handball.
Penalty off of a Rose's hand, and Miriam Marcotte is pointed to the penalty spot. And the first big breakthrough is potentially right on the doorstep.
And Stephanie Hill is saying, no, my arm was by my side, but it was not. We frequently see defenders, and I can't say that I love it, defending with their hands behind their back, but at the very least you need to have the arms stuck to the side of your body, not making yourself bigger, and there the arm is away from the body, and that is the right call to award AFC Toronto the penalty.
Attackers 3 of 4 in terms of success rate this season from the penalty spot. It is AFC's first penalty awarded of the season. Kaylee Hunter looking for goals in back-to-back. Karpenko looks on, and it's struck wide. What an opportunity that has slipped away as Hunter misses the target from the spot.
I thought she was going to go with power, opens her foot up, looks for placement. It's the perfect height for Karpenko to make the save, but it's not struck on frame. So it makes it easy for the goalkeeper. And Hunter's going to need to have a short memory. And the Roses escape after it looked surely like AFC Toronto was going to go up 1-0. Stays 0-0.
Well, the only other player to miss a penalty this year, DB Pridham. So the two top goal scorers from last year have uncharacteristically missed from the spot here in year 2.
Yeah, but DB Pridham hit the target, and that was saved by Foster Inman.
Indeed it was. And Ottawa went on to win the game. Getting a look at some substitutions here. Chisholm and Cathro coming into the game here. Looks like there was a change there for the Roses as well, with Charlotte Bibeau coming out. Double change, in fact. Sauvé also leaving the game. Finish that off here in just a moment. Chance on goal once again. Another one from distance dealt with by Manor.
And you would think with the insertion of Cathro, he's talking about Lantang playing that wing back position and Barnett dropping back to be part of that back three. I think now with the insertion of Cathro, that releases Barnett to play a more attacking role in her habitual wing back position. Chisholm finds that pivot, that number 6 role that we expect her to play. She's done very well to start the year. See her grow into that position. Massive shoes to fill after the departure of Emma Regan.
Stratigakis and Seto do battle here. Corner kick awarded to AFC Toronto in the 64th minute. Well, this game is now taken on a new face here over the last half hour. Major opportunity missed from AFC Toronto. High, headed back on, and it rolls towards Karpenko, who's involved in a tackle there. One back, great save. Karpenko kicks it away. This will be a goal kick, and Karpenko has dealt with a lot over the last couple of minutes, reminding her teammate rather harshly to let's go and wake up.
She's been on her game, and bodies flying everywhere there. And then AFC Toronto get a couple of cracks at goal.
Another change here. This is Linda coming in. 19-year-old in for her second appearance. Recently with Ghana during the international break. That's now 3 changes for Marko Milanovic. Barnett now moved up the pitch a little bit. Chisholm is with the Canadian under-20 women's team. In the last international break. Ball sprung forward down this far side. He's small. That's Laurie Thibault, one of Montreal's substitutes. Headed away by Seto. And the referee quickly gesturing to the medical team to come on here with Minas down.
Looks potentially like a clash of heads. But the speed of play that we've seen from AFC Toronto since Chisholm has been inserted, quick switch of play, ball to feet to Burns, first time into space for Small. They need more of that. Need an uptick just in a little bit of the urgency in the way that they're attacking and trying to exploit the spaces that the Roses have on offer.
Let's take a look at the left side of the screen here. This is that last header. Nina's taking the worst of that.
Yeah, it's Seto that goes up with Lauren Rowe. And it appears that maybe it's her own player that injures her, but it's the three players that go up and she comes off worse for wear.
I don't have my V-mount on me, so
ready for the drop. It plays back to Barnett. Cathro in the game looking that Barnett has been pushed up the pitch now. And be 20 early next month in July. The penalty area goes down. Ball back to Karpenko. Minas. That's looking at Bennett. Missed her by a couple of yards there. Into space. Take it back. Hunter trying to make amends. Strikes. Second time. Followed up and finished beautifully. Rowe picking the top corner. And AFC Toronto leads at home.
And there are those great celebrations that we were talking about, Matt. You felt this goal coming. You felt like the combination play, the tempo had been elevated a little bit by AFC Toronto. They'd sorted out the way that they were connecting, and it's Brewster with his line-breaking pass, a layoff, and it's put into space by Hunter, or for Hunter, and Karpenko's off her line, never really resets, and then it falls for Lauren Rowe just on the edge of the 18, and she side foots it, but she takes it brilliantly, gets over the ball and stuffs it into the back of the net just underneath the bar to open the scoring. And who knows, after we've seen chances few and far between in this game, it could be enough, but something tells me we're not done with the scoring on the day.
Back-to-back goals for Lauren Rowe, who opened the scoring against Calgary just prior to the international break, and maybe a sigh of relief from Kaylee Hunter and AFC Toronto, despite the miss from the spot. 20 minutes away from 3 points at home.
And again, it was Kaylee Hunter into space, creating something for somebody else, and Rowe, who's usually the one who's probing into space and pushing that back line back, stretching the opponent. It was Hunter who was playing that role, and it was Rowe picking up the pieces.
This one in for Rowe. And this one called back from the officials.
And that was tight because you had Whitaker and Capadona who were a little bit higher, and I was worried with Hill dropped off a couple of yards that she was holding Rowe onside.
AFC Toronto in position for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Won the opener, and then went 3 straight without collecting a full 3 points. But you know, Amy, that the Roses will not go quietly here over the last 20 minutes.
They will not, especially with the insertion of Badu. We know that creativity, the way that she can unlock a defense. But Bennett's been quiet so far through this second half. I think Boychuk came on, made an impact early on, but has kind of gone off the boil a little bit. But it's more the service into those front runners that hasn't really happened the way that we saw it in the first half.
A couple of more Montreal substitutions here. waiting in the wings. Rowe collecting her second of the season, joining Stratigatkas as AFC Toronto's only other multi-goal scorer on the campaign. Esther Okoronkwo, who did the majority of the damage, or some of the damage, a good part of the damage last year, still away due to injury. Hunter again, with Hill watching on closely. Stutter step from the dangerous AFC Toronto attacker. Nikki Small will follow up. Thibault closes the gap. Burns tried to go forward, instead it's back in the middle and collected by Rollins. Play back in again. Chisholm had that touch forward. Some life with AFC Toronto here once again, pushing Lauren Rowe back in, looking at Hunter. Missed her by a yard or two with the pass.
A good spell of possession here by AFC Toronto, flipping the script, as it were, on the Roses.
Thank you for a beautiful reminder.
But what this possession is doing in this middle third and edging into the attacking third, and it's pinning the likes of Lisa Pechersky back. And if you can keep Lisa Pechersky far away from the net that she's attacking, you're probably doing something right. So the possession right now is looking to decrease the chances that the Roses have to get numbers higher.
2 changes here for Montreal Roses, with Mary-Lou Harvey coming in, Hill coming off. Olivia Bala also entering this match here. Five substitutions in. Rollins looking for a bit of medical help here potentially. Even those lower back stretches working.
That little posterior chain activation.
Medical staff was busy elsewhere here. So Brewster is up. And these 2 stoppages have now turned into the hydration break presented by Powerade here. A little under 20 minutes to go. And we do have a breakthrough moment here in this match, and it wasn't from the penalty spot with Kaylee Hunter. Her first penalty attempt in the NSL went wide of the cage, but made amends, finding herself in space, and then Lauren Rowe finishing it off.
Lovely little layoff, and again we saw for Kaylee Hunter to open her account in this year, it was Nikki Small who played provider, and she finds the feet of Hunter, but it's Rowe who's right there following the play, numbers getting forward. Great little celebration between she and Small, but it's good to see because we saw Lauren Rowe get in behind early on in this contest, Matt, and didn't quite have the technical ability. The ball got away with her. We know that she's got the physicality, the pace to get around her defenders, so it was really great to see her be clinical when that opportunity presented itself.
Perfectly struck into the top corner. Goes down for her 4th career Northern Super League goal and now 19 appearances. Looks like a couple of more substitutions. Victoria Pickett coming in. And it looks like Brewster's NSL debut has come to an end. And Mia Fontana will come in and take off the AFC Toronto goal scorer here with Lauren Rowe. 76 minutes today for the Conception Bay South Newfoundland and Labrador native.
And lots of ground covered for the goal scorer. Quite the shift put in by Lauren Rowe today.
Double change. That's also 5 substitutes in and out for AFC Toronto. Quick ball in, Harvey for her first touch. Tries to go around Hunter. Unsuccessful there. Back into the middle, Fontana looking at her first touch here as well. Taken back by Montreal. One bit of stoppage time here with the hydration break. But we'll need to act quickly. This one tipped towards the goal, flicked on beautifully, and Manor with a fantastic save, her best of the afternoon.
And we talked about Manor not being very busy with that emphatic win 4-0 over the Calgary Wild, and today hasn't been tested a whole heck of a lot and has to be lively and lying at the weight to save her team and to keep that clean sheet, and that's exactly what she does. Parries that ball up and over the crossbar.
Important chance there for the Roses.
But that's the threat that Bennett can provide. Can be involved or not involved for long stretches of time and then just come alive.
Another corner kick for Minas. Strikes this one, bounces, it's loose in the penalty area. Back post, cleared off the line, and the flag has come up for offside. Wouldn't have counted anyway, but there was a chance or two there for the Roses.
But I wonder, after this corner is swung in by Minas, it takes that initial flick and it goes right by Badu. So prior to Capadonna having a crack at it at the back post, you wonder where the offside call would have stopped that play.
Lots of questions there. Two swings and misses from the Roses in the penalty area. This is given as a foul. Roses, their first major moment off of a set piece in this match. Well, I'll have to do some defending. This one shifted out wide. Back in the middle for Olivia Chisholm.
The midfield battles right now are being won by AFC Toronto, and that started happening when they started getting the lion's share of possession and being progressive with the ball just prior to that goal, and it was by way of a couple of substitutions. But the most impactful one was Olivia Chisholm in the middle of the park and then moving Colby Barnett to her regular position as that wingback.
Roses have not been held scoreless yet this year. In fact, have multiple goals in 5 of the 6 matches they've played in. AFC Toronto has done the job here so far through 79 minutes. Zeto moves back. Now forward. Bennett is there. Rollins right behind her. And looking for something from the official there. Nothing given. Instead, shifted out wide. Now forward. Taken quickly back again by Chisholm.
Can't quite connect with Hunter on that play. And there's Pechersky. Errant pass, but that's part of why AFC Toronto are also dominating the second half, is that Pechersky has been moved out to that wide left area that was previously occupied by Sauvé, and it's taken her out of the game. They haven't involved her at all.
'80th minute, you're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. Bala, Toronto native, wearing the Montreal Roses shirt. Good first step forward. Manor comes out, takes this one away into touch. Contact there onto the watchful eye of Marcotte, and Nikki Small has now gone down. And the play will be halted here to come have a check here on the AFC Toronto midfield.
Yeah, coming off of international duty, she logged a significant amount of minutes and looks like she's just picked up a cramp here.
stretched out. Play resumes. Down this line, just outside of the penalty area. Harvey pushes it back in towards goal. Manor picks it up with Bennett racing down. 10 tense minutes here, plus stoppage time. Toronto trying to win back possession. Fontana, though, couldn't quite control the ball in the midfield. Shifts it again to Seto. Have to hurry, does well with the control. Endo watches on, ball quickly taken back by the home side. Had a couple of scares, but overall here, Amy, haven't given up much.
No, they haven't. They've been in firm control in this second half. I would say, save for the first 7 or 8 minutes to kick things off in the second half. It's been all AFC Toronto.
6 attempts, 4 on target for AFC Toronto, and half number 2 have been much more lively in terms of the attacking. Hunter dragged down here by Capadona.
And you're right, Matt, you mentioned it earlier, it's becoming an increasingly physical affair. Heavy fouls on both sides, some called, some not. It's tough to know for the players what the line is. Been a little bit of some uneven officiating, things uncalled on both sides.
It's going to be a yellow card here on the Montreal defender.
Yeah, just doesn't get ball at all, just kind of barrels over Hunter.
First yellow card of the day for the Montreal Roses, 84th minute. Dona picks up her second caution of the season. Roses trying to avoid back-to-back defeats for the first time this year. Linda played a patient approach there. That was quickly cut off.
And then regains possession just as quickly.
Barnett as well to get past Harvey. Chisholm plays to Nikki Small. Shrug off the cramp from earlier. Sent into space. Capadona is there. Boychuk moves back. Touchline again. This will be given to AFC Toronto. Unable to win the ball back, taken again by Hunter. Body taken back, and there's a foul there. This is also going to be a caution.
Pechersky caught late by Hunter. Perhaps feeling a little bit hard done by the foul on her a few minutes ago by Capadona. So Thibault does well there. She'd given the ball away carelessly, and then that's just a late, borderline reckless challenge there by Kaylee Hunter.
Second yellow of the day for AFC Toronto. Chance to stride forward here. Pickett in the midfield, Small. Taking back Fontana. A lot of possession for AFC Toronto here late. Linda in the penalty area. Bala. She's over to the outside flank. Boychuk doesn't have much support on that far side. Quickly taken back by AFC. Ball down this line. Good touch. AFC Toronto retaining possession.
Had a lot of joy in this right channel. They've done very well. You've seen them express themselves, combine, lots of rotation. Players moving up and dropping off, and that's how they scored the goal. Was that ball into space for Hunter, good interplay, and it was Rowe who was able to convert from the top of the 18. So they continue to stay there. It's where they've had success.
There's been very little here. Pechersky seemed to have something going from earlier. Wojciech also in the mix. Small into Pechersky now. Tebow there as well. Burns. Flag does come up here. Late stages here for Montreal. Couple of big moments in this second half. So far, none bigger than the 68th minute goal from Lauren Rowe. Second of the season.
We know the conditions are hot, but the Roses have struggled since Charlotte Bidbeau exited this match. And Thibault, we've seen her deployed as a striker in the wide areas, and I think the injuries to Felicia Roy, Mara Bouchard, who are frequent substitutions in the middle of the park, have hurt the Roses to have them unavailable.
Linda takes this in front of Seto. Ball forward, flag does come up here for offside. And then kicked away. That one from Fontana.
Lucky to escape without a booking. We've seen that already done this game.
Has caught the attention of the official once.
So then you need the consistency. If somebody's been booked for it once, then do it again if somebody does it in the same manner.
Bennett 1-on-3 here, taken down. Roses to throw. 89th minute here at York Lions Stadium. Getting word here that there was indeed a booking for Fontana, so they've got you on the hotline.
That's right. Apologies to our referee. Consistency is being shown, and I appreciate that.
Seto and Linda. Another close exchange there. Harvey unable to retain possession, comes back to Cathro. Adu so far is yet to leave her mark here since coming into this match. 2 assists on the season. Bala, look out! Didn't realize that Karpenko had moved to a wider area. More pace on that pass could have been a disaster.
That could have inadvertently doubled AFC's lead. But again, not a criticism of the substitutions, but just the personnel and the way that they've been deployed by Rossitoyu. It's been a tame attack. You know, you haven't really supported Barnett with much menace. I think since Badu's been inserted, we saw Wojciech lively when she came on at the beginning of the second half, but there's very little happening in the way of creation for the Roses in that attacking third.
AFC Toronto with defenders back, 7 minutes of stoppage time, shown by the fourth official here today. Ava Rajabi, so certainly some time here for something late. AFC Toronto has been the aggressor for the majority here of the second half. Although they didn't have the possession in the first half, we were still talking about them being the more dangerous side here, Amy. So far it's been a good afternoon for Marko Milanovic and AFC.
And it shows even with a very different starting 11 that they can sit back, they can be resolute and disciplined in their shape. keep the opponent peripheral, and then when it's turned to be the aggressor, the instigator on the attack, they've got that in their locker as well. And they have the luxury of bringing on somebody like Victoria Pickett, so much quality, so much experience around the 80th minute to close out a game. It speaks to their depth that they have.
7 points in the first 5 games of the season. AFC Toronto would move into a tie with Halifax on 10 points if they're able to secure 3 here today. Bennett having other ideas. Looks around as the whistle went. DoorDash Player of the Month in May. Doesn't particularly like the way that decision went.
Is the call on that a foul throw? Is that what happened?
You have the hotline towards the officials.
I mean,
I'll defer to that one. Can they call you back?
I thought I saw Lisa Peczurski's trail leg come up. So that would be the first time a foul throw was called.
Into space again. Montana will timing tactics here. Takes it right to the corner, then wins a throw.
That's doing your job. Sometimes your job as that target, as that number 9, your center forward, it's just to keep the ball, it's to manage the game, to recognize the game state. You're in stoppage time, you have a 1-goal lead. Get the territorial advantage. Try to keep the ball away from your goal.
Third minute here of stoppage time. Portion on that is 1-0 to Montreal Roses. There's AFC Toronto, Montreal Roses trying to catch up. Avoid back-to-back defeats for the first time this season. And here come the Roses now starting to push numbers forward. The penalty area, Peczurski strikes and it is in the corner! A leveler from Lisa Peczurski in stoppage time, and Montreal has life. What a turn of events!
We talked about how little she'd been involved till she was moved to that left wing back position, and she thought, listen, nothing much has happened on the attack. I'm gonna do it myself. And she goes in between defenders, opens up that foot, keeps it low, and bends it far stick beyond the outstretched manner. For the equalizer, it takes a deflection, I believe, also off of Sarah Rollins, further complicating matters for Manor. But it's all that she needed to do. It just took a moment of brilliance, and we know that Lisa Peczurski has that in her. I mentioned it early on, Matt. Minute 1 through minute 90 through stoppage time, and she comes up big for the Roses.
Second of the season for Peczurski. That draws her level with DB Pridham on 6 goal contributions on the season to lead all NSL attackers. 2 goals, 4 assists for Peczurski. Picked a great time for that involvement. It was not looking particularly bright for Montreal Roses. It just didn't have much going in the second half, but might now have something more here. It's given away by Manor. Taken back by Evelyn Badu. All of a sudden, some space here. This one struck on from way out. This one well off the target. AFC Toronto has got to be careful not to throw it all away here.
Might become wide open. You mentioned we might have a chaotic ending. With a couple of minutes left in stoppage time, you might have an AFC Toronto team feeling a little bit burned by the fact that they dominated the second half. We're trying to see out a 1-0 lead. And then the Roses are looking to play spoilers on the day with the Lisa Peczurski equalizer. But there might be more lying in wait before all is said and done.
Badu back on the ball. Chisholm there as well. Minas has the feet taken out from under her. Goes undetected and we play on. Pushed back by Harvey. And here's Peczurski burning down that same side again, breaking some lines. just off the mark, and foul quickly given there. As last thing Montreal wants here is a counterattack coming right down on Karpenko.
Just pulled back on the shoulder by Tanya Boychuk.
Lauren Rowe and Lisa Pechersky, the goal scorers here today. Pechersky now has 2 goals, 3 assists in her last 4 matches. This could be interesting. Montana all alone, crosses in, and in the penalty area there were some options, including Hunter. Didn't really have a marker.
No, I was surprised actually Fontana took it so far away from goal. She had space to take that touch inside. Could have maybe made more out of it versus that cross to the back post.
Rolls into touch. Now we've crossed into the 8th minute of stoppage time. Cannot be long now. Late goal from Lisa Pechersky so far has leveled the match. 94th minute equalizer, but will it stand? Touched on. And it was right there.
Pickett so close to connecting with Fontana there, just a little bit behind her. Otherwise, that was on her foot just as she was about to walk herself into the 18.
That is full time. AFC Toronto looked to be in position for a full 3 points, but Lisa Pechersky and the Montreal Roses playing spoiler today. A late equalizer from Pechersky in the 94th minute. Yeah, time for a big hug.
Yeah, I
we
think
split
so.
the points today.
So it ended up being a draw. We expected the goals after it was scoreless through 45. I think AFC Toronto, as the home side, has got to feel hard done by there. I think they felt like they were going to get all 3 points, but Lisa Pechersky, just one individual on the day, shows up, moment of brilliance. When it counted, a slashing run and a precise shot from distance to beat Manor for the equalizer.
Speaking of the goals, let's take a look as the second half certainly did open things up. It was scoreless after the first 45 minutes here, Amy, but here's how things developed here for AFC Toronto.
But AFC Toronto did this all day long. This is the bright spot, this right-hand side, and you saw Karpenko off of her line, and then that ball falls to Rowe. Karpenko never quite gets set, and it's the finish and the conversion that AFC Toronto needed. They'd come close before. They were the penalty miss by Hunter, and so I'm sure she's just as delighted as her teammate in Rowe to see that go beyond Karpenko.
So everything looking well for AFC Toronto, but here we are, 94th minute. Look at this run.
I mean, we talked about Pechersky, how she needed to be more involved. She needed to get more on the ball, and she said, you know what? I mean, forget it. I'm not going to be involved in the build-up, so I'm going to take it myself. Darting run, mazy run that she's known for, opens her body up, and it's a beautifully struck shot that beats Manor to her left.
Here's a look at the full-time statistics here. Montreal up at 56% in terms of the possession, so certainly indicated how things changed, Amy, in the second half. And total shots and shots on target pretty close.
Absolutely, and they didn't really come from sustained possession in the attacking third for both sides. There were transitional moments. There were shots from distance. Both goalkeepers had to be at the ready. There were some big saves. But so I think a share of the points on the day feels about right, even though the second half was thoroughly dominated by the home side.
Week 8 continues in the Northern Super League. It's the Rise and it's the Rapid from the beautiful West Coast, Swangard Stadium. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific is Vancouver and Ottawa. Both teams looking to move up in the standings. Catch that one on CBC Gem. Well, 2 big rivals came into Toronto today with eyes for 3 points, but the woodwork involved early. A couple of second half goals, including one in stoppage time from Lisa Pechersky. We split the points at York Lions Stadium. For Amy Walsh, my name is Matt Cullen. Thanks to all our hardworking crew for this one. AFC Toronto 1, Montreal Roses 1.